everyone, welcome back to Java Jumpstart. My name is Mohana and today I'm going to be teaching you guys about while loops. So while loops are basically a type of loop in Java where they can repeat while the specified condition is true. So in a loop, the condition has to either amount to a Boolean value, true or false. If the condition stays true, it'll continue running until the condition is false. So in the example shown, it says int I is equal to 0, which is a variable, and while I is less than 5, the system is going to continue printing out that variable of I, and every time it runs, it's going to increment the value of I by 1. So this will continue printing as shown on the side. It will continue printing from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And since 5 isn't less than 5, it won't print out 5. And the point of these while loops is to help you decrease repetition in your program. And they're very helpful, especially when you have a huge body of text and you don't want to keep printing I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, I is equal to 3. So they're very helpful, especially with print statements, but you can use them in a lot of different ways. So do while loops are a different type of while loop, but they still do use the basic while conditions. So after running the program once, it checks to see if the condition in the while loop is deemed true. So in this practical structure of the do while loop, it will basically run what's in between the brackets first before checking the actual while condition. And if that while condition is true, it'll run the do loop again. And if the while condition is still true, it'll run again and again until the while condition is false. So here's an example of a do while loop. Here int I is still equal to 0, and do, what it does is that it prints out the variable I, and then it increments again, and after the bracket, you see the while condition, while I is less than or equal to 5. So for this program, you can probably guess that it's going to continue printing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because I is still equal to 5. And that's the entire point of a do while loop. It's going to continue doing while the condition is true. So in while loops, you can also incorporate different conditionals. You can incorporate an if statement inside of a while loop to make sure it only prints out or does a certain thing while a certain condition is true. So in the example shown here, you have an int number, which is equal to 40, and while the number is less than 1 and it's less than while the number is greater than 1 and it's less than 100, if the number is greater than or equal to 1 and it's less than or equal to 50, it's going to print out the number. And then it's going to keep incrementing each time it runs. So as the while loop goes on and on and on, it's going to continue printing that number since it's going to stay under the value of 100. And it'll just keep going because that's what the while loop specifies. Now this will probably go into a forever loop since it says since the number is going to stay less than 1, it's going to stay less than 100. So it's not recommended that you write a program like this, but it's just to show you how an if statement would be nested into a while loop. And speaking of nesting while loops basically means where you put a while loop inside of another while loop. So in this example, you can see that the dice number is equal to 1, while the dice number is less than or equal to 6, and while the dice number is less than or equal to 3, it's going to print out the dice value, colon, and then dice, and then it's going to increment. So it's going to keep running until the nested while loop value is false. You can also include another if conditional to say like if the value of dice is greater than 3, then do this. You can also nest a for loop inside of it, but for loops are in a different video, which you guys should also go check out. So that's the end of today's video. While loops are very simple and you can use them for practically almost all of your programs. But if you guys want to learn more about loops or you want any more practice, be sure to check out more of CKF's videos and more of our decoder videos to have a grab on Java. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe.